Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 201. This is a show where we talk about video games and gamer-related things. My name is Frank from Menso, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, Alex Nunez. What's up, man?
That's going to take some getting used to. You know how, like, every time the new year comes around, you got to write all the dates down, and you got to write the new year, and now it's going to be weird just writing down two for the episode number as the first number. That's just bizarre. Craziness. Yeah.
And to think about it with the single-digit episodes, not the single-digit, but the episodes, the double-digit episodes. Like, you know, we got to the next number a lot faster.
Yeah.
10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. And then it was like 100.
The one was there forever.
It took like 2 years, dude, to get from like 100 to 200, and now we're at 201.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are at 201, and as you are listening to this, episode 200 was already released as well, so go back and listen to that, because I really liked that one. That was a good one. And it was commemorating our big milestone of 200 weeks doing the show.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was sort of like a nice break from like the usual, but then it also seemed like a crap ton of work to make happen.
Yeah. It was. It was hard.
I bet.
It was hard, but I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed doing every single second of that. So,
well, that's what matters.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, we're fucking past 200. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Over the hill, as they say.
Way over the hill. I think we were over the hill at like 130 something.
Oh, God.
But in any case, so let's just keep on rolling.
Yeah.
With episode 201. 201. Fuck. So, yeah.
Actually, before that, I've got some weird stories I'd like to share.
Stories, plural. Okay.
Well, this first one, I don't know, is it really a story? It's more of an observation, but I was shocked nonetheless. But I don't watch a lot of TV. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, I was over at a friend's house watching commercials and shit, and then I was floored by what I saw. And apparently, they have, I'm going to say it, they perfected the neti pot. They've gone and did it. You didn't think you could, you know, mess with that formula, but they did, and they made like an automatic like pump neti pot. You just plug into your nose and it just, you know, puts the water in there for you. You don't have to like tilt your head and do all that stuff. You just, I guess there's like some vacuum pump or something inside. It's like electrically powered, and it'll push the water through you.
Interesting.
And it'll come out the other side. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Wow, I did not expect that story to go there at all whatsoever. Yeah. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know what to expect, but I haven't thought about the neti pot in years for any reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one of those ridiculous things you've seen on TV, and then like, holy shit, now this is version 2. What the fuck? Oh. Why is it still around? All right.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I guess there's a market for it, or they're trying to tap into the market for it, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's successful, but it might not be.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, will we?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna utilize the neti pot for any reason.
Maybe some of your close friends will, and you'll hear stories about it. I don't know.
Maybe some close friends and family.
Mm-hmm. Who can say?
Okay. So,
the other thing.
Story?
Yeah, I don't know. I was driving down the road, and I saw a person with their hazards on. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I don't know if they're just having an engine problem or whatever, but as they're driving, I'm seeing debris falling out from the side of the car, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And as I get closer, I see that they are driving on, I guess, what used to be a flat tire, but my guess from them driving so much, there is no more tire, and they're pretty much on the rim. And I'm like, my guy, what the fuck are you doing? You just pull over. You don't do that. That is not how you operate a vehicle.
That's super dangerous.
Yeah, you would normally, you know, expect to see that from, you know, some kind of hoopty, but this guy's driving around in a Land Rover, and I'm like, guy, come on, let's be better about this. What's going on? I was in disbelief when I saw that. I was just, Jesus Christ. He is literally on the rim, on the car. And like all the last remnants of any kind of rubber from the wheel is just flying off. I was like, God, what the hell is life right now? But yeah.
What's wrong with people?
I just wanted to share that with the world because, just, people are out there.
It's PSA.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a flat tire, just pull over.
Yeah, slap a spare on that. Call a tow truck or something. I don't know. Be a responsible human being.
We have YouTube videos. If you don't know how to put a spare on, you can just, YouTube a video on your phone and put a spare on. It's not hard at all.
Nope.
Just get it done. But that's no way that you put yourself in more danger doing that than actually just like pulling over. Call AAA if you have it, or just roadside assistance with any kind of insurance you might have.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not an option, again, just YouTube that shit. That shit. Your spare tire. Like, if you don't have a spare tire, what are you doing? Like, why don't you have a spare tire?
Mm-hmm. It comes with the car.
Yeah, it's like required for you to have one. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are ridiculous.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
God. Wow. So neti pot and someone driving straight up on the rim. Awesome.
Yep. Mm-hmm. In a luxury car, no less. Which is even better. It's like the cherry on top.
Oh.
But like that guy over there on the road driving to God knows where, let's keep rolling with this episode, shall we?
I think I might change the title because God damn it.
Oh man, it's too good.
It's almost as fitting.
Yeah.
So, all right, then let's just do that, and let's talk about what we've been playing. It's like an odd segue. It's like it wasn't even a segue.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting back to the swing of things, or the roll of things. Let's start with you, Alex. What have you been playing? What do you got to share with us this week?
So, I've done it, and the new expansion came out, so I feel obligated to check it out. But yeah, I've been playing some of that Destiny 2 Warmind expansion, and I feel like at the point where I'm at in my relationship with Destiny right now, if it were not for the fact that I had already bought the expansion pass way back when, I probably wouldn't be playing this right now. But since I did buy it, I'm like, you know what? Hell, what the hell? I got nothing to lose. I paid for this thing already. I might as well see what it has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Warmind. It only just came out this week, Tuesday, and I haven't had so much time to play with it. But I did go through the campaign, which is really short, which on the one hand, I'm very happy about because, a lot of times you have to plow through the campaign of these expansions in order to get to like the end game stuff and, start grinding for the higher level items. So this one was, I forget what Osiris was, but that was, I want to say at least 6 missions, but Warmind campaign is 4 missions. So much less running around and no more like fetch questy stuff, or like there's one maybe mission like that. But other than that, it gets pretty much to the point very fast, which can be either good or bad depending on your point of view. But I was happy that it didn't take too long to get through the campaign. And I don't know, the campaign is still, what you would expect from Destiny 2. If you've played any of the other missions, it's pretty much the same deal. Story is not super interesting. You go back to Mars, which was a location in the first game, but was absent in the sequel, Destiny 2. So it was nice to go back there, but in a different area of Mars. So there's some new stuff, which is cool. My one complaint about Mars in Destiny 1 was that it all looked very similar because, the planet is red, and so you're seeing a lot of red all the time. But I think this area is closer to one of the poles, so there are a lot of frozen areas as well. So there's a mix of some reds and, depending on where you are, and sometimes it'll be blue and white because of all the ice caves and all that. But which I guess leads to the new enemy type, which is Ice Hive, which seems like, on the face of it, seems like a very creatively bankrupt thing to do. It's like, okay, we have the existing enemy type. What can we do with them? Let's slap ice on them, give them some other new abilities, which they've done in the past, like pretty much every other Destiny expansion. They don't really add any new enemy types. They kind of just remix the existing ones that they have. So this new faction, the Ice Hive, there are a couple like small differences with the guys. Like they'll have unique abilities, but it's not unique enough that, it'll stand out. It's not going to make a big difference in how you play the game. Because, Thrall, and they're like zombies, and they'll rush you the same like the other Thrall. They're just covered in ice for whatever reason. But they do occasionally, like if you're like in an ice cavern area, they'll just like punch out of one of the walls or something, which is kind of like a cool and surprising effect sometimes. So if you're doing a campaign mission, or I think even just like regular, maybe even patrol missions, they might do the same thing. But if you find yourself in one of those cave areas, you could just run into a surprise group of Hive just jumping out of one of those walls, which is a nice effect. Kind of reminded me of what Gears of War 3 did with their enemies when they launched out of the ground. It's just like a fucking cool way for
shot out,
enemies to get into the battlefield, which was kind of unique. This is not on that level, but it was a kind of cool twist on that. I will say, like Osiris, the last boss was pretty cool. Maybe not as cool as Osiris, but you are fighting. I guess the big enemy in this game, or in this expansion, is this big giant hive worm, and the worms for the hive are like these gods to them. And it was the first time you fight any one of those guys, and I was like, holy shit, this is bananas. But like gameplay-wise, nothing super unique to do. You're just shooting the thing, and occasionally you get this like new relic weapon, which comes out of the ground, and you can use it for a set amount of time before it expires, but it's just a javelin thing that shoots out energy and stuff. And again, similar things have been like that in the past. In like Rise of Iron in Destiny 1, you had like the axe that would show up on certain fights that you could pick up and then use for a bit. There was the shock cannons from the older game as well, that they have a similar effect where you hold the shoot button down for a little bit to get a bigger effect. This new javelin thing has a similar effect. You can charge it up to get more or to do more damage, and you also have like a couple like ground based. Like if you jump in the air with it and press one of the attack buttons, you'll come right down to the ground and do like a big area of effect kind of attack, which can be cool, but it feels like it doesn't last very long. So you only have it for like, it feels like 30 seconds or so, which is not a great deal of time, but other than that, I don't know. It's, again, I haven't spent too much time with this, so I haven't explored a lot of the other stuff that's in there. I know there's this new escalation protocol game mode, which is essentially their version of a horde thing. They've done similar stuff like that in the past as well. It seems like kind of like a cross between Court of Oryx and the Archon's Forge from past expansions. So if you're familiar with that, it's kind of the same deal. But yeah, basically there are these, I think, pillars out in the field on Mars that you can access and kind of trigger whenever you want to do these escalation protocols. And if anybody's around in the vicinity just doing their patrol missions, they will see it and they can jump in if they want. So it's kind of a cool thing, like Court of Oryx, like Archon's Forge. If you're like in the area and you see people doing the thing, you can just like join in for free loot. Because why not? Because it seems like that thing, escalation protocol is supposed to be pretty hard. So it's sort of like an end game thing. You want to be geared up, or you can participate in it to get higher level gear. But trying to think, like this update I think brought, up until this point they've been doing a bunch of other things, but this update also brought in more like quality of life changes as usual to Destiny. They've rebalanced the game a little bit with the weapons and stuff. So I think one of the big things was like they made a lot of the exotics more potent to make them feel more exotic. So it'll be interesting to kind of delve into the changes there to see what has happened, how the new weapons feel, because a lot of the stuff has felt lackluster, and it'll be good to feel powerful again in this game, which I hope is the case. But I will need to do much more exploring in order to figure that out. But yeah, I don't know. Just the big thing for me is I'm just in a weird state with Destiny right now, where it's like I don't care as much as I used to. which fucking sucks. Because
I think even the most hardcore fans like yourself don't care.
Yeah.
That's at least that's what the word on the street is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like the core game is good and it's fun, and like going through the campaign, I enjoy like that kind of combat. Like it was fun just to go around and shooting enemies and juggling all the different things, getting like throwing a grenade at a big bunch of enemies, and then turning around and go focus on another group with other weapons and abilities. It's just a nice. I just enjoy the gameplay loop in that game, and it's just the biggest problem with that game is just the end game stuff. Like once you get to like max level or want to chase other things or do other activities, but then you find out there's no reason to do them because all the crap that you get is just crap. It's everything is the same. They had this weird philosophy with Destiny 2 where it feels like they dumbed everything down, and that has taken a lot of the excitement out of the gear chase at the end of the game. So it's like, now it seems like they're figuring that stuff out and like, okay, people want to, a wider slew of things to do, unique things or unique weapons and things that do unique abilities and all that sort of jazz. But it's just taking them forever to get to that point, which is a shame. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep playing this, see if it turns any better in terms of what I've seen so far from Destiny. But I'm kind of thinking that the big major changes that everybody's waiting for won't come until September whenever they do their, I guess, Taken King style expansion for this game. Because I don't know if you heard, but actually Bungie had a summit a few weeks ago at their headquarters where they brought in a bunch of like top community members to discuss like future changes to the game. And,
wow.
Yeah. Because like they're that far off track that they had to bring these people in house to like, hey, we want to give your guys' opinion on what we're doing.
How do we make this better? Like, how do we fix this?
Well, it's not. I think they've already taken the feedback from what everybody's been saying so far. The summit was really just to give them a sneak peek at what's coming down the line. I think they were looking at the September update. Because they don't want to be in a position again where they put something out that they think is going to be cool, but then the community is like, no, this is not cool. So they wanted to get people's feedback before they get to the point where they can't make those changes. So hopefully,
it's like a really focused group.
Yeah, but like the hardest of the hardcore, they're bringing in that kind of mentality into it. So I'm hoping for good things. There's been like from the feedback that I heard coming out of that summit, it seems like some people are mostly positive. There were some things that they can't say anything specific, obviously, the people that were there. But
probably signed NDAs and stuff.
Oh, of course, yeah. But it seemed like when they got there was like one major thing that they said that was that they were like, no, everybody's going to hate this. Like, you guys, no, you can't let this happen. I was like, God damn. Like, I was like almost like thankful that, they were there to kind of right them or put them on the right track. But I was still like ashamed almost, like how you guys still have not like realized that what people want yet from the game. Like you guys had it figured out for a while in Destiny 1, but now they're just changing things for the sake of changing them for dumb reasons. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I don't know. I'm still along for the ride, at least for now. And I don't know. I'm gonna see what the rest of Warmind. I'll probably update y'all next week with what I figure out on my end on how I land with Warmind. But so far, it's cool. More Destiny, more getting to shoot aliens in the face and doing all cool abilities and stuff. So yeah, I'm enjoying it for now.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to get fooled again. I don't.
It's always the hopes of what could have been.
Yeah. Just not a great mentality to have going into the thing that you...
No, it's not for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's where I'm at with Warmind so far. What about you, man? You been playing some video games?
Yeah, I've managed to squeeze in some little time for some video games. So I've been continuing God of War, and I actually finished the game the other day.
Okay.
So
like
I kind of
finished it? Like you see
I beat it.
Credits roll?
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah,
on a black screen?
No.
Okay. There is another ending to that game.
What?
Yep, there is. So I could tell you. I could tell you what you need to do. It's very simple, but okay.
Wait, what do you have to do?
You have to go home.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Damn it! He says it too.
Exactly.
He says it too. Fucking shit.
Yeah, I didn't know either until I think I saw something online or somebody pointing me in that direction. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
God damn it, dude! Like I'm wanting to do this like now, right now.
Right. Yeah.
But,
it's a cool thing. Like it's not like needed, but it's almost like the end of the Marvel movies where after the credits roll,
post credits,
something cool happens. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Got me reinvigorated now. But
I know, right?
Yeah, so I did beat the main game though. I did see credits roll, but not in a black screen. It's the credits rolling while you're still playing the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if like we should spoil, but I kind of want to talk about stuff.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil just yet. I want to give people a little more time at least. Yeah,
I feel like I also feel like the game is still fairly new. It's only been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
At this point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I just want to say God of War is a fucking it's great. it's really, really good, dude. Yo, the final battle. How fucking dope was that, man?
Yeah,
like
a lot of ridiculousness.
Like I loved all of it. All of it. I was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking Atreus, man. I'm like, this kid this kid is ride or die. Like this kid is gonna be something.
Yeah.
Cause he was doing some amazing shit. I'm like, yo.
I think at one point like Kratos is like, good job, you did some crazy shit right there. I appreciate that.
Something. Yeah, it's like you did something, boy. Good job. And I'm like, yep, that's my boy. Yeah. Yeah, no, Atreus was like it seemed a little sudden, but I really liked it seemed that they were finally like gelling with each other.
Yeah.
With the final battle, and I'm like, this is awesome, because they were just like, I know it was very choreographed, but they were just landing so many clean hits on the final boss, and I'm like, this is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so. I love that little reused set piece as well in the middle of that fight. I was like, okay, yep, this is great. And just let's throw it up in there. Why not?
Yeah, man. I love this fucking game. I do. Like I said, I think it's probably one of the best. I dare say it's like the best representation of like a character action game I've ever played. I'd say it's better than like even though I love Bayonetta, I love Devil May Cry. But I think this is like the best, and just as an overall package, it's the best. It's so good. It's too good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, a lot of what the game is doing is not super unique. It feels like an amalgamation of like everything other games have been doing. Mm-hmm. Like in a way, like sort of like Darksiders did. But the level of polish is unlike any other game. Like what they've done, the way they combined everything, and the way everything looks and interacts with each other is just finely polished. But that's the most unique thing I think in this game, is that level of polish, that level of care and crafting every little piece of this game. Like even down to like the little puzzles that you do to unlock those chests. And it's rare that you see something so cohesive like this, and this one sort of like vision, I guess, of everything coming together it just shows, because like I think listening to some interviews with Cory Barlog, the creative director of the game.
Yeah.
And they took like 5 years to make this game. And
yeah, I can see that.
It shows.
Yeah.
Cuz they definitely took their time with this, and I appreciate it for that, because it definitely shows. Even though it's like it's hard for me to point to one thing like, oh yeah, that's unique to God of War, but it feels like a weird amalgamation of like, Zelda-like puzzles, environmental puzzles, and things like that, like a Metroid-like structure, sort of a little bit maybe of like Dark Souls-ish combat, kind of grafted together with, the Devil May Cries and Bayonettas and stuff, sort of some weird amalgamation of that. But yeah, it's even though it does take from all those other games, it just the one thing that I think that sets it apart from all the other games is the level of quality detail on everything.
Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I think overall I'm just in love with the presentation of it all. Like,
yeah,
which brings your point in there along with that point. Like, it's just the presentation is like unlike any I've ever seen. Like, it's as close to, I know we've gotten like cinematic experiences before with games, like AAA games are no stranger to that sort of presentation. They practically all do that.
Yeah.
But I think like this is like the closest that we've gotten to like something that is very akin to like a film, like something that is like, it's spectacular on its own, like, as spectacular and a bit ridiculous, but it's so finely tuned that like I couldn't, there were many times where I forgot I was playing a game. And like I've been playing games for a long time, and I've never gotten that feeling with a game before.
Okay.
So like that is like something that attention to detail is what makes me like put this over the top of like any other game of its type, because it's just, you just get engrossed in this world, and you're like with these characters on their journey, and they're very flawed, and they have their own shit that they have to deal with. It's just there's so much that's paid attention to and feels very real in a way, and it's I just love the way it's all put together.
How would you compare like the cinematic stuff of God of War to like the later Naughty Dog games, like the Uncharted and Last of Us and all that?
Compare in what way? Like, which is better, or like which is closer to like a cinematic experience, or like which made me, I don't know, like what's your question?
Yeah, I guess what made you connect deeper with like the story elements and the way it's presented?
Okay. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, because in my mind, they are very close. Like they're both almost neck and neck in that category.
So okay, I feel that's a super hard question to answer. Okay, so I feel like God of War. Okay, so there's the storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
That is, important to games like this, and, movies in general, story structure. I feel like with games that are this long with their stories, I felt like the God of War storyline was kind of like contained within its own world. Without like going into like too many extraneous details. Now I'm saying, so I'll talk about Uncharted, right? Uncharted is, I'm not calling history extraneous, but some of it to me seems a little unmotivated, like a little too like, well, yeah, we're treasure hunters and we're going on this journey to find this treasure. But along the way, there are like all of these ridiculous things that happen along the way to like find this treasure, where on a more realistic level, why don't you just like you get it. Like no one uses maps anymore. And why don't you just like get on a fucking plane and just fly to where you need to go. And, take like some sort of, ground transportation to get to exactly where you need to go. You don't have to tell anybody else about it. And game over, credits roll, Whereas I feel like with God of War, I felt like there was real reason behind everything. Now I'm not calling God of War's story realistic, but it followed enough story beats to make it feel like you are actually following that you are actually with Kratos and Atreus on their journey. You know, it was very simple premise, but along the way, all this bad shit happens, and then it's like, man, let them just go to let them go to the fucking highest point and, you know, scatter the ashes. But you start to realize that there's like a lot more at play, and it's not that simple because of Kratos' past, because of Atreus being his son and not knowing about his past, and there's like a lot that really feels contained and really feels like cohesive, and it just makes me feel more. It makes me feel more for these characters because the story is very personal. Whereas, like, again, in Uncharted, the story is it's not really personal. It's just for personal gain, but personal shit happens along the way for those characters.
Well, I would say that it gets pretty personal in Uncharted 4 specifically.
Uncharted 4, but it took how many games?
Right.
for that.
I mean,
for them to get to that point.
You could say the same thing about the older God of War games. Like, what the hell were they about? Or did you feel that same connection to the characters?
No. Absolutely not. Kratos was a fucking like rage machine.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a shit about like his journey. I just wanted to beat the fucking game and like see how it ended. Whereas like this game, I didn't want it to end. You know? And Uncharted 4, fantastic game. I'm not selling that game short by any means, but I felt the same way. I just wanted to see how it ended because it's a very long journey that we've been on with these characters.
Yeah.
And it took 4 games and how many years? Like 10 years?
A long time.
Yeah, it took like 9-10 years for it all to like wrap up. And I felt like with God of War, with just this one game, because technically it's like a sequel reboot. It's a weird hybrid. But I felt like with this one game that we got the same kind of like character development and story development in the one game that it took Uncharted like 4 games to establish and finally finish. You know? So yeah, and that's just the storytelling aspect. Now, like if you're talking about the cinematic presentation of it, God of War by far I know, and what you said is correct. Like, it's not unique, like, with these giant set pieces and these crazy fucking action scenes and this just craziness that happens to these characters along their way.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make the game very entertaining if it was just, if these things didn't happen and you didn't participate in this ridiculousness. But I felt like God of War, even with simpler scenes, I just felt like it was just on another level of spectacle. And I'm not saying spectacle in a bad way. I'm saying it in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, and I think I talked about this point when we talked about God of War, but there was the scene where they went to the travel room for the first time.
Yeah. And
when Freya was explaining about the travel room, like just the way she was telling the story and the way that blue light was used, and in the music at the time too, it was just all like, it had me in like awe. I was like, wow. I was like wide-eyed. I'm like, this is amazing. Uh-huh. Like all of it just fit very well together. Now, Uncharted in its own way had very like whoa moments, like wow, but not to that degree for me personally. Like that was just, I was blown away by that simple scene. It's just somebody telling a story about how this is all working, or it's how it's going to work for you.
Uh-huh.
And also when they met the sea serpent for the first time, like just the size of the serpent compared to you, and the way the camera was like looking at the encounter between the two of you and the serpent, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like I was just in awe. And it was just a fucking serpent just looking at you, you know, and speaking, but when it spoke, you didn't understand it, but it was just like you could sense like that this is not something to be fucked with. Like this is like this serpent is like not a joke. But then you realize that he's an ally, but it's like little things like that. And then when you come down to the action scenes, man, Uncharted has some fantastic action scenes. It really does. Like the beginning of Uncharted 2, the plane in Uncharted 3, the train, the train before you get to the beginning of Uncharted 2.
Again, you're going through like the whole series. I'm just talking about more recent versions of them, because then we're going to throw in all the God of War games if that discussion is going to happen. I'm not comparing the entirety
4.
of Uncharted.
So Uncharted 4, Uncharted 4, again, as an example, Uncharted 4, it didn't have as many thrilling action scenes as the past games in the series, but this God of War, same thing. The past God of War games didn't have very thrilling like action scenes like this, because I remember it was all QTE at the time. But this God of War game, like all of like the set pieces and the action scenes were fucking amazing, dude. Like super well choreographed and spectacular. And I felt like as a whole cinematic presentation was on another level with this game versus those games. But to your point, you said that it's just like a more finely tuned version of like so many of these types of games. And I felt like they had the chance to get it right with this game. They had time to kind of like study these other games and like get it right with this one. And it shows. Yeah. You know? I feel like if you look at them for like what they're trying to be as film, like really long films, really long movies, but that you just participate in. I feel like, again, I felt more in tune. I felt closer to the world of God of War than I did with like Uncharted. And even The Last of Us was much more of a personal story. Yeah. But The Last of Us was also scaled things back a lot. Like there weren't like a lot of like big action scenes in The Last of Us. It was just all about, you know, people trying to survive. And right. That's all it was.
Yeah, it's trying to be a little more realistic in tone.
Right. And that's all it will ever be. But it did hit like a different kind of like note with people, you know? Because the characters are obviously more relatable. Yeah. But even though God of War was a spectacle within itself, I felt closer to these characters, this world, than I did with the world of The Last of Us. So I don't know, man. I feel like this game had a lot of time to get it right, and they did. They fucking knocked it out of the park. And I'd be hard pressed to like for them to like improve upon this formula, or to see a game improve upon this formula even more than God of War already has. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's fucking awesome.
It is awesome. It's a wonder that they were able to do what they did.
Yeah, this is like an achievement, you know, like give them a trophy. Like this is an achievement. This is an accomplishment. Like this is really something. Yeah. But yeah, I did not know about the whole going home thing. I'm going to do that presently. Like that's cool. And they freaking even say it, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me go do some extra shit. Completely left my mind. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. There's a lot of extra shit to do.
Yeah, yeah. Have you fought any Valkyries yet? I think you said you did, right?
Just the first one. That was it. I haven't gone and done the other ones. I tried to do one other one, but then it ended up just being a realm tear. So okay. I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I haven't played much of the game since I beat it, but I do want to do a lot of the extra stuff. Especially like the 2 optional realms, because there's fairly some unique gameplay stuff in those things, surprisingly. I was kind of amazed at what they did with those areas. I was like, oh, okay.
Was that Muspelheim and Niflheim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Muspelheim, I completed Muspelheim up to a point. So you can complete Muspelheim with the trials, but then you have to go back into the worlds and get these keys that will allow you to proceed. So I did as much of Muspelheim as I could, including that whole, beat 20 enemies without getting hit.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was rough.
Okay.
Bosses and everything. I'm like, that was pretty fucking rough. So yeah, but then the final trial up until the point where you need the keys is a Valkyrie.
Okay.
So.
Oh, right. Yeah, because there is a Valkyrie in that area.
So, yeah, you have to go through those trials in order to fight her anyway. So. Yeah, man. I've been doing a lot of extra shit. I just wanted to. I mean, you kind of like fleshed out what I just wanted to simply say about the game, that I love it and it's fantastic. But yeah, God of War is dope. Just fucking play it. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's already Game of the Year, and we're only in May right now. I'd be hard pressed to find a game that's better by the end of this year. So. Yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I'm looking down the pipe, and I really don't see anything that's, even games I'm looking forward to. I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm looking at Spider-Man, but I'm like, I don't think it's going to be that much of a spectacular game as this game. I'm sure it's going to be great, but not like this. Like, this is something.
Those are crazy words coming from you, of all people. To say that, Spider-Man's potentially not going to be Game of the Year for you. Wow.
No, it's not. It's probably going to be one of them, but yeah, not God of War is still number one spot right now. I'll look down the entire rest of the year of what's expected, and E3 will be watching closely, but yeah, I'd be fucking super hard pressed to find a game that's going to do it better than God of War, man. Yeah, it completely took me by surprise. And I think that has a little bit to do with my visceral reaction to this game. Like, I didn't like, I just saw the E3 trailer. Was it last year?
Maybe a couple years ago.
Before,
maybe 2.
It might have been 2 years ago. And I remember that trailer, and I'm like, oh, okay, great, another God of War. Who gives a shit? And then now I do.
You fool!
Eating those words. I'm eating those words because I thought it was going to be like more of the same. And the other God of War games, they weren't bad games, but they weren't exactly, provoking.
Even with that trailer, you thought it was going to be more of the same?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more of the same. Like, wow. I think they were just like, it's a different take on the God of War series, and he has a kid now. Great, awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. And then I fucking
shows what you know.
Those words, eating those words big time. Eating those words big time. But yeah, God of War 1, 2, and 3 were just like fun games.
Yeah,
and nothing more, nothing less. They weren't like super compelling or Shakespearean with the Greek mythology or anything like that. But
it's just like, let's run into this room, mash some buttons, and rip people's heads off,
room and kill everything that moves in the most violent ways possible.
Let's listen to this dude yell Ares for the whole game, or Zeus, depending on what game you're playing.
I'm coming for you,
Athena. Goddamn Kratos.
Yeah, I was just like. And, it was for its time. People were like, whoa. That's where like games like Asura's Wrath came from. Like that game was like straight up QTEs and just a fucking a rage monster.
But what QTEs they were, my God. Asura's Wrath.
No, that is
a gem.
As fuck.
Yeah, it's great.
Spectacular as fuck, but it's just like, with that kind of game, it's like you realize that again, it's just fun. It's just how coordinated are you with sight and touch? That's it. But yeah, no, God of War, this game, the newest one. Oh my God.
Although
I can't stop talking about it with people at work.
I did have a problem with that game. I don't know if you knew this, but I didn't know.
God of War or Asura's Wrath?
God of War, the new God of War. I didn't know this throughout the entire game until I think after I beat it. But I wasn't aware that you had 2 different axe throws available to you. You can throw with both R1 and R2 if you're using default controls, or light and heavy axe throws.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Dude, how?
Because
I mean,
I think the first time you have to throw is like, oh, use R1 or R2. So I was like, okay, it's one throw. It doesn't matter which button you use. It's going to be the same thing. So I'm like, okay.
No.
So I'm used to doing the L2 and R2 from all these first-person shooters. So I just did R2 all the time and did the overhand throw or whatever, which sucked because I was spending points on, there was a skill that you can unlock that rewards you for getting precision hits with the axe, like headshots on people, and
it creates like explosions.
Yeah, or you get more frost damage or something. I forget what it was. But it doesn't register if you're using the R2 throw. So the entire game, I'm using the R2 throw, and I'm like, am I missing? Am I not getting the headshot? What the hell's going on? I'm like, okay, the thing's not doing the fancy, ricochet that it should be doing, because they showed the video of like how it's supposed to look. And I'm just not getting it. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess I suck or something. But nope. I was using the wrong button. I was like, thanks a lot, game, for letting me know.
Alex.
Yep. I feel like I always find these like weird things that nobody thinks of. Like, why? Why is it always me? This is the problem I had with Darksiders. It's just dumb shit that they don't properly communicate to you.
Well, in your defense, they do kind of it's weird. Like they do have the tutorial or whatever, but like with like the runic attacks and the different like movesets, they do kind of sort of throw you into that. Like it's not like there's like a very fleshed out explanation. It's just kind of like a command list.
Yeah,
and they just expect you to kind of experiment on your own. Whereas like, these days, and for like the past 10 years or so, 20 years even, fucking games have held your hand through these sorts of things because, they want you to be the best player that you could possibly be in said game within its limits and so on.
Although there are times where the game does do that because it stops you and like forces you to go down through these menus and trying to teach you how to use these menus to upgrade your stuff, and just kind of stops the game at that point. I'm like, hey, you got to follow these instructions to figure out so you know how to use this thing, because we have to show you, because we don't trust your intelligence.
Yeah. No, yeah, but I can see that. I can see that. That's something that you could have possibly missed. Like the map was kind of like fucking with me.
Yo,
in the beginning of the game.
The map is ass. I want to say that. I just want to put that out there. Map is ass.
It's not very helpful.
It looks pretty, but it's not usable as a map.
Yeah, it's not helpful. Like like if you wanted to do like fast travel stuff, like why not make fast travel accessible like on the map itself instead of like having to go to those points? And then there's also the whole like marking. Like that sucks. Like like when you're trying to like mark destinations, you can't. You can only mark certain
objectives
areas once you access the objective, correct?
Yeah.
And so it's like, but I don't want to do this. I want to do that thing over there. So it's like, I agree.
Or even using the fast travel, I'm like, this is sort of near where I want to go, but is it like how much like cavernous areas do I have to go through to get to where I want to go? I don't know. Exactly. I don't know if this is underground or above ground.
Right. There's like a Valkyrie that I was trying to track and fight, and there were like 2 fast travel points, right? Like pretty much equidistant to the Valkyrie. And I'm like, which one do I take? Because it seems like on this map, with the way the topography is looking on this map, it looks like that this is at an elevated point.
Yeah.
And whereas this is at a lower point near the water or close to the water, in the water, I mean. And it's like, well, okay, I should probably do the one close to the water, but I'm not sure if the Valkyrie is at an elevated point because of this map. This map is weird. So yeah, the map's not very helpful.
Nope.
I agree with that. Yeah, the map was fucking with me in the beginning. I'm like, what? I don't understand. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, there's definitely flaws to the game they're not like game breaking, but they're annoying. They're annoying. My biggest issue, like I said before, is with the camera. Like when you're fighting, I'm like, I'm fighting the camera too.
Yeah,
I'm fighting enemies.
I think my biggest problem is that enemies that don't respect the hit stun I'm giving them. Like, don't you get out of that animation, you son of a bitch.
I hate the enemies with the hammers.
Yeah.
Like they don't have hit stun. So I'm like hitting them. That was a pain in the ass because guess how many of those enemies they throw at you during the whole beat 20 without getting hit?
All of them.
Not all of them, but like I'd say like more than 50% of them for those enemies. So yeah. But my boy Atreus, boy did his work.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much did most of the work for me with that. With the electric arrows.
Yeah, that's good.
Those are awesome because they actually put those fuckers in hit stun.
I think the top of my shit list are those dark elf lords. Those guys.
Oh god,
fucking assholes.
Yeah. They are assholes.
Like, hey, you're doing a lot of damage to me. That's pretty good. I'm just gonna fly away, and I'm gonna leave an unblockable bomb where I was.
Yep. And then I'll
deal
just
with
appear
that
behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Just create these shockwaves just because I can.
Oh, you got hit? How about I make everything dark for you?
No!
Bastards.
Ugh. Oh, man. Yeah, you're going to fight some Valkyries, though. They're going to piss you off even more.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been through a lot with that game, especially playing on that hard mode. It's just, salt levels are... Eventually, they find some equilibrium.
Yeah, you think you found that equilibrium, and then you fight a fucking Valkyrie that can one-shot you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not fair. Like unblockable attacks, pattern switching in the middle of battle.
Yeah,
that's not fun.
I mean, one of the first realm tears I did was that. It was just two. I forget if they were those guys, the hammer guys, or if they were the travelers. Like they basically look like Dark Souls knights.
The knights. Yeah.
Yeah. And they was just one-shotting me, and I was being stubborn as fuck. I'm like, nope, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to dodge everything, not get hit, but eventually I get hit, and that's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I was having that issue with the Wolvers. I'm not sure. I think it might have been a realm tier, but there were like two Wolvers that were like super over-leveled, like from where I was at that point. I think I was like level 3 or 4 at that point.
Uh-huh.
And they were like level 7, and they had the purple bars, Yeah. That means like...
You're going to die.
Fucked. Yeah, you're going to die in one shot. And so I'm like, I could dodge everything. And nah, man, they're too... Like, their attacks have too much... Like, too large of like
tracking or something.
Yeah, it's like a frame advantage, dude. Like, it's too big of a gap.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they swipe... And I dodge at the right time, but it's like the swipe lasts just long enough that they touch me and I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they suck.
and I had to fight 2 of them at the same time, so that wasn't fun.
Nope.
And I wasn't even sure what it was for. I forget. I'm trying to head back to wherever that was.
Oh yeah.
Just to fight them again because I'm leveled up now. I think I can take them on now, but still.
Right. Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, God of War is dope. It has its little flaws, but God of War is dope. It's an achievement.
Yeah.
In games.
There's nothing quite like it.
No.
For sure.
No. So, all right. I guess we're done talking about God of War for now until I talk about it next week with, I went home and this is what happened.
Or until you remember Dragon Ball exists again.
Oh, no. I've been playing that too.
Oh, okay.
Been playing that too. That patch drops tomorrow.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they nerfed Vegeta's assists.
Yeah.
And they nerfed Adult Gohan, but not as bad as I thought they were gonna.
Yeah, no more. They just got rid of like the infinite leg loop or whatever, right?
They got rid of the infinite leg loop, and they also got rid of him like having free turns.
Yeah, that's good
in the game. So he just doesn't have free turns anymore. So he's kind of balanced out. So that undoubtedly makes Cell the best character in the game.
Yup.
Because Cell practically nothing happened to him.
Cell has everything.
Yeah. He does. He's perfect. Just perfect.
Which is canonical.
Yeah.
He's got all the best moves and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And basically, he has like Vegeta's assist, except it's a beam and it lasts a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So, in any case, let's move on to headlines. And before we do, you should be at innercitygeeks.com right now, or you should go there right now as we're talking so you can follow along with what we're going to talk about. So, first up, in some E3 pre-news, Square Enix is going to hold a press briefing at E3 this year, and it'll actually be their first time back in 2 years doing anything, because they didn't have any kind of presence at E3 2016 and 17. So they will have a showcase akin to like Nintendo Direct that is going to happen on the Monday of E3, June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific. And it's going to be live streamed on like all the good stuff, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. And they didn't give any other hints about like what they're going to be announcing. But there are some like obvious games that they're probably going to announce or focus on, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider or Kingdom Hearts. Hopefully we'll get that Kingdom Hearts release date, because the release window is this year. And there's only like 7 months left in this year. So.
Do it, Square. Hit them with the delay.
It's probably going to happen. But yeah, so there's also rumors that we might hear more about other games. The Avengers project that they've been working on, maybe a new Life is Strange game, Dragon Quest XI, and Final Fantasy VII Remake that just recently got delayed to, I don't know, 2050.
Sure.
So yeah, are you excited to hear about anything that they have to announce at E3 this year?
Not really. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm willing to be surprised, but there's nothing off the top of my head that I would be, looking forward to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking for a Kingdom Hearts release date, because we've been waiting 11 years since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
You can keep waiting, man. You've waited long enough.
Yeah, these Square games taking forever to come out, dude.
Yeah. What?
15 finally came out after 10 years of development.
Right. What happens to you, Frank, if this is like Final Fantasy 15 levels of disappointment for Kingdom Hearts 3?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, so for the most part, I trust that Kingdom Hearts 3 won't be as terrible as Final Fantasy 15, because Tetsuya Nomura is directing it, and I've liked pretty much everything he's directed. Mm-hmm. So,
but he was directing 15 for a long time.
He was, which is why I was very excited about it. And then when they switched directors, I'm like, all right, I'm still excited because he was involved, and they did stuff. And then you started hearing the news about they had to start from scratch, and pretty much everything he did was just gone. And I'm like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I have some faith it won't be as terrible. I'm just trying to not like hype myself up too much, because it's been a long fucking time. I'm just impatient now. Just like, come on, stop doing this. So in any case, yeah. So moving on to the next headline. So Nintendo Switch's recently announced online service will actually let you back up your game saves.
Holy snap.
And yeah, so cloud saving is going to finally be available for the Switch, and with the upcoming service, and that's happening in September. And they say finally you won't have to worry about losing all 200 hours you've sunk into Zelda. But the thing is that you're going to have to pay for this service. And the other thing is about this whole thing is that there are a lot of things being offered now that you're eventually just going to have to pay for. And it's like simple things too. And I'm like, well,
I mean, they pretty much said as much when the Switch launched. Like, hey, we're going to roll out an online service that you're going to have to pay for eventually when we get it, up and running. But up until then, you can play for free. But eventually, there will be a day and time where you have to pay money to go online. But that day is rapidly approaching.
Yeah, it is. It's only 4 months away.
Yep.
So,
but it's not too bad price-wise. I think it's only $20 a year.
$20 a year. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is the lowest price range for a major console.
Yeah, because
to date.
Yeah, Live Gold is, and like PS Plus is $50 or $60.
Yeah. PS Plus is $50. Live Gold is $60 or $70, and then this is only $20.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have the same breakdown as PlayStation Plus, for example, or even Xbox Live with the whole if you want to pay for just 1 month or 3 months, they have $4 a month, $8 for 3 months, and then $20 for the whole year. And then they also have a family membership, so you can also allow up to 8 accounts to use the same subscription,
mm-hmm.
and it's going to be $35 a year. So still, that's not bad.
That's very good.
It's not bad at all. And depending on your friends, that might be more economical for you.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, another feature features that they're adding is that they're going to be adding NES Classic games, and you can also play these games offline. And they have a list of the first 10, and they're going to announce another 10 in the future. So I think that's the grand total. I think it's only 20 games that they're releasing, at least as of
launch.
This, yeah. So, but yeah, and also you can also play other games online, like multiplayer games online, like Mario Kart 8, ARMS, Splatoon 2. But until the service launches, you can actually play those games for free right now. But then, again, you're just going to have to pay the price and actually if you want to play those games online, got to pay for the service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's about it for all the details with this new update of details with this new feature, this new online thing. I know you don't have a Switch yet. Are you going to get a Switch anytime soon?
I don't know. Anytime soon. Probably within the next year or so. But yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm kind of glad we're getting more and more details that this is, actually becoming a reality. Mm-hmm. I still think it's lame that you need a separate app on a device to actually voice communicate with people on a service that you're paying for. That should be included on the device, or you should be able to do that on the device directly. This is, other systems have been doing this for a while. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Just why? Why?
Yeah. That whole the app thing. I think that's just Nintendo's kind of their whole limiting communication to just people that or at least trying to do it that way, because they're we all know how it goes with PlayStation and Xbox, where when everybody gets to communicate with each other, no one really communicates at all. And people are just the fucking worst online.
Depends on the game and all that, and the community of people that you're interacting with, but it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't.
If you're playing with friends, people it's all cool. Or it should be all cool. But still, they should trust people enough that they can make those decisions.
They can expand
on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So, also to follow up, actually, it's our next headline to follow up. So, I was like, what?
It's the most non-surprising headline of all time.
So, the Switch is not getting a virtual console.
No duh.
Nintendo says it has no plans to revive the retro game service. I mean, we kind of all understood.
This has been obvious.
Switch seems to be designed. The Switch seems to have been designed to, very much welcome the virtual console. But with the way things were going, it seemed very, very unlikely that would happen. Mm-hmm. And now it's confirmed. So, yeah, it's just not happening. That's pretty much this headline to this article to a T. Basically, it seems that everyone that wants to get their retro game fix is going to have to rely on the SNES Classic and the NES Classic, which is actually being re-released in the summer. So I know you're not surprised, but
nope.
And you don't have a Switch, so I don't know. Do you have anything to say about this?
I think it just sucks. People were holding out for just holding on to hope, just that it would come over, and because a lot of people spending some money on the old virtual console, and they did move over from Wii to Wii U.
The Wii to the Wii U. Yeah, and that sucks too because the Wii U, like people were hoping that they could move the stuff from the Wii U over to the Switch.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it's the reason why some people are still holding onto a Wii U right now, as we speak. And the thing is, the Wii Virtual Console is shutting down. I think soon, like very soon.
Well, that's
next year.
Just the Wii
next
shop
year.
in general. I think the whole Wii shop is going down.
Yeah, it's shutting down.
But you can still play those games if you have them on your Wii. You just can't buy any more. Or I guess potentially re-download them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It sucks, but Nintendo's gonna do what Nintendo gonna do, and they're gonna sell you these other things and be like, "Hey, look at all these distractions. You can play all these other games elsewhere, or buy the game." I think they've been doing that deal with Hamster, releasing some other older games. Like I think the arcade Mario Brothers came out at one point as a thing you could buy, but yeah, it blows because it was a pretty well done system. The whole virtual console thing is like seems like a slam dunk. Why would you stop that? But I don't know. Maybe licensing was too big of a headache for them.
Yeah, but it's in very unsurprising news. So, all right. So moving along. So I'm actually gonna go with the Fortnite one. So Fortnite's Avengers crossover is so good it should be a permanent mode. So Marvel and the game Fortnite they've teamed up and they put Thanos in Fortnite.
Okay.
Now it's not specifically the character of Thanos, but it's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic with getting Thanos in Fortnite. So there's a new mode in Fortnite called Infinity Gauntlet, and you can only be played solo. Battle Royale rules still apply. It's you versus 99 other fucking people, and just go to town. But the thing is, each match contains an Infinity Gauntlet, and the cool thing about the Infinity Gauntlet is that it can be seen from anywhere. It's pretty much has like a beacon of light that anyone can see from anywhere on the map.
Yeah, it just shoots out of the sky.
Yeah, and so you know where it is, so everyone is going to be like going after it. So the thing about it is, whoever grabs the gauntlet, if you can get through the hordes of other people that are trying to get it, whoever grabs the gauntlet turns to Thanos. And when you do turn into Thanos, you have access to like these super powerful moves. Like you can fucking punch through buildings, and like just send people flying. And it seems like Thanos is like, holy shit, once you get the Infinity Gauntlet, he's unstoppable. Not necessarily, though. Thanos can be taken down pretty easily, actually. Like a headshot can take him out. So
is it? Because it seems like the way they wrote it is like you have like a team of people can coordinate and shoot him down. It's not going to take a headshot because he's got decent amount of health.
Well, no. So wait, I thought it was that he doesn't have a lot of health. But it's just that because he has the gauntlet and all that power, he doesn't need it necessarily.
From what I read, it seemed like he does have a lot of health, and he can recover health or armor by killing other people. So if he goes on a rampage,
yes, that he can do.
He can stay alive for a while. But yeah, it sounded like people had to coordinate to take him down because the amount of damage you needed to output on that guy is a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's saying here that like a strategy, a strategy is that like pretty much like no one goes after the gauntlet unless like someone acts as like a guinea pig and gets the gauntlet, and then people team up against that character and then grab the gauntlet for themselves. And then the thing is, whoever grabs the gauntlet pretty much gets teamed up on all the time. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword with it. But if you can get away with using the gauntlet, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Like it's awesome. And another cool thing is that you're always aware of where Thanos is. If someone has the gauntlet, you always know where he is.
Okay.
Like you can hear him, you can pretty much see the destruction in the distance, and it's it's so cool, man. But yeah, there's a little clip here of someone posted on Twitter of like Thanos dancing at the edge of a map, and then I think he proceeds to like punch through a house. but yeah, this is a pretty cool little like collaboration here. Like it's pretty unexpected, but yeah, it seems pretty fun. I don't know. Do you have anything to add?
I don't know. It's just a super strange thing, and it's kind of crazy that it came out of nowhere. That they were able to keep this kind of thing under wraps for so long, and just, hey, surprise, Infinity Gauntlets in Fortnite, you become Thanos and kill everybody.
Yeah, you sure do.
It's I don't know, just completely unexpected, but it's also crazy cool for like the game that everyone is playing right now. It's kind of a cool thing that they're doing this.
Huh. Yeah, I agree. It's super unexpected, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, and apparently like people are raving about it. But also a funny thing about it is that not a lot of people get to become Thanos in this mode.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people on Twitter are just saying like I've tried so hard and I've never been able to become Thanos because it's like so hard to like get the gauntlet.
Yeah, it seems like it. You have to get super lucky, it seems. Yeah. Like it has to fall on top of you, basically. And basically like if it's like one of those things where a lot of people are going for it at once and you grab it, you're dead in a matter of like minutes. Because people are just going to like team up on you, and then no one wants to get the gauntlet. People will just watch, see who's the sucker that goes for it next. Yeah, the gauntlet is bait, basically. Like, everyone wants to get it, but it's like, I don't know. Just try and get all the suckers that just go for it without.
And then there'll be people that will kill their teammates, their quote unquote teammates, like before, like right after they kill Thanos, like they'll kill their teammates, like just to make sure the area is clear before they can grab it for themselves.
Well, there's no squad in this mode. Like everyone's on their own, but like, everyone wants to
You're forming quote unquote these teams.
Yeah, alliances. Temporarily.
Yeah. Very temporary. Very temporary, but yeah, you'll kill like the other members of your squad just so that you're making sure that the area is clear so you can grab that shit yourself. That's a smart strategy. I mean, that seems to be the only strategy because you ain't gonna survive very long. But yeah. But all right, so. In our final article, we're back to the Video Games Hall of Fame. There were 4 new inductees this year, and the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York announced the honorees this morning. No, actually it was a few days ago. They announced it a few days ago, and the 4 games that made it to the Hall of Fame this year are Final Fantasy VII, John Madden Football.
All right.
The very first John Madden Football from 1990. Space War, which was released in 1962, which was actually the only first-time finalist to make it. And Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider from 1996. And yeah, they the 3 other games besides Space War were finalists in previous years. John Madden and Tomb Raider were both considered last year, and Final Fantasy VII was a finalist. John Madden and Tomb Raider were considered in 2016, and Final Fantasy VII was a finalist last year. And so that's just something that's just wanted to share.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a nice little mix of games there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This is a cool thing. It's a nice little surprise because I always forget about this thing that there's a Hall of Fame.
Me too.
I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, they deserve it.
It was only established. It was only established 3 years ago. So it's hasn't quite caught on to our brain patterns yet. But I'm sure it will. Sure, it'll be a regular thing, year in year out. So
yeah, it's great that it exists, and this is a fine list.
Yeah. Yep. Final Fantasy VII did stuff. John Madden Football certainly did stuff. Tomb Raider, well, it did stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Space War. Yeah, Space War is
It's the only one I'm not familiar with, but it's there's a little blurb there on the page. But
it says it was one of the first like pioneers of games in general that helped to launch the multi-billion-dollar video game industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's gonna about do it for headlines this time around, and we are going to be moving into new and upcoming releases, and Alex is going to go ahead and take us through that, so it's all yours.
All right, so actually, missed a week, because we had our little 200 episode extravaganza.
Little.
Uh-huh. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but...
No, nothing major at all.
But we're going to catch up a little bit on both last week and this week, but it's also going to be a super condensed list, because not a lot interesting was coming out lately. So, for last week, May 1st, we had Super Mega Baseball 2 for PlayStation, Xbox One, and PC. Killing Floor Incursion came out for the PlayStation VR. And finally, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is now available for the Nintendo Switch.
It's a good game. I've been considering getting it, but I already had it for the Wii U, so I think I'm okay.
Okay. But comes well recommended, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really, really good game.
All right.
Like, so much so that I almost want to rebuy it.
Fair enough. That brings us to this week, the week of May 8th. First up is Destiny 2 Warmind expansion, available now for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Tacoma is making its way to the PlayStation 4, and I believe also they're including a sort of director's commentary or developer's commentary on that game, which I don't think is out now for the rest of the version, for like the Xbox and PC versions, but I believe it's on its way. But Tacoma on PS4 will have the developer's commentary built in. But yeah, that game is pretty cool and worth checking out, I think.
Yep, remember you talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Also out this week is Conan Exiles for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition is out for PlayStation 4. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is out for PC. Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Day 1 Edition is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 Deluxe Edition is out for Switch. And The Fall is out for the Nintendo Switch. The Fall is dope. I really like the story of that game. Play that game if you haven't played it already. And then we have a single Friday release that's probably worth mentioning. On Friday this week, you can pick up a Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And since we have already started another month this year, we've got a whole load of free stuff that you can get with your existing subscriptions. So if you pay for PlayStation Plus or games with gold and all that, you get some new games. And here is the list of what you can get. First, we're going to start with PlayStation Plus for May 2018. Beyond Two Souls is available for PlayStation 4. Rayman Legends, also for PlayStation 4.
Oh, shit. Now's your chance, Alex.
I think I already had it because I think it was a PlayStation Plus game a while back. Because I was looking at my I was looking at my library. I'm like, oh, I already have this. How'd that happen?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's now available for PlayStation 4. Or again, I forget. But also for PlayStation Plus, Risen 3 Titan Lords for the PlayStation 3. Eat Them for PS3. King Oddball for Vita, but also cross-buy with PS4 and PS3. And finally, Furmins for the Vita. That's going to do it for the PlayStation Plus, but on the Xbox side, if you subscribe to Gold, for the games with Gold games this month are Super Mega Baseball 2 for the Xbox One, You can grab that for the entirety of May, from the 1st through the 31st. And Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for the Xbox One. You can grab that anytime between May 16th and June 15th. Also for Games with Gold is Sega Vintage Collection Streets of Rage for both Xbox One and 360. You can grab that from the first half of May, from the 1st through the 15th. And lastly, for Games with Gold is Vanquish, again for both Xbox One and 360. That is the back half of May, from the 16th through the 31st. And that's a pretty solid list on Xbox, I gotta say.
Yeah, that is. That is. I might actually turn mine on again.
Oh, God. And
still here.
Okay. Good.
People that are keeping count.
Good to know.
Still here.
Good to know. This is not a subscription, but Origin is giving away a free copy of Peggle for the PC.
Yeah.
So that game...
Apparently that comes highly recommended.
That game is really fucking good.
Yeah.
Probably the best representation of Ode to Joy in a video game. God damn, that game is great. But yeah, it's all you have to do is have an Origin account, which is free, and then you just add it to your library on Origin. But that is a price. Nothing else. No monetary value on that whatsoever.
I think the game normally is $5, but you can get it for free now.
Yep. And the last thing I want to mention is Twitch Prime. There's another subscription, and that is also giving away games with said subscription. So I think these are all Windows PC games. So for Twitch Prime this month, you can grab Gone Home, Psychonauts, High Hell, I Hope, Cluster Truck, and Titan Souls. And with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for all our new releases and junk this week.
All right, cool. So thank you for that. And with that, that means we are done with this episode. So before we officially go, we would like you to remember to visit InnerCityGeeks.com at any point while you're listening to this, or after, or even before. If you can do that. If you have that time machine, just go ahead and go do that. That's fine. Because that's where we're located and where we have a bunch of stuff sometimes regarding everything geek. You can view our episodes on our YouTube channel. It's Good Games Podcast. And while you're there, just subscribe to us. And then you can just get all of our regular updates each week with new episodes. You can also listen to us on iTunes, where you can leave us a review. It's the best thing that you can do for us. Just let us know how we are doing on this show so we can adjust accordingly. You can basically also listen to us where all podcasts are available, just like you can go to Stitcher Radio or Google Play and all that other good stuff that you listen to podcasts at. And I also want to encourage everyone that if you are at InnerCityGeeks.com or you're going to InnerCityGeeks.com, just click on that Amazon banner that you see on the right-hand side of the page. And when you do that, it'll take you to Amazon. And I'm sure there's stuff that you buy on Amazon probably regularly because it's huge. And whenever you do buy stuff, a little bit of that will come back towards us so we can provide more show and more content just for you. You can reach us on all the social media outlets, mainly Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Inner City Geeks. The Twitter for this show is at Good Game Podcast. And you can also email us at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And we actually check our emails, so feel free to just say, hey, like, I listen to your show. And we'll be like, thank you so much, and we're sorry. So
never apologize.
So yeah, and that's gonna about do it for this one. So thanks for listening, as always, and we're gonna say goodbye. And in leaving, we say good games, everybody.
Good games.
まり魔法をかけたドゥビドゥビはみんな幸せかたまり魔法をかけたジュジュジュビジュは